Hello and welcome to the LifeGuide tutorial on data management in LifeGuide. This tutorial is produced today, May 8th, 2015, and as noted, we'll be covering the user data management in LifeGuide, including the capabilities to transfer user input data from one machine to another, for example, from your office machine to your laptop and vice versa. In LifeGuide, you can create numerous client groups, and you do that through clicking on the group icon here and then proceeding down to create a new group and so forth. An item which is to be covered in another tutorial. You can create virtually an unlimited number of groups of clients in LifeGuide, and each group can contain as many as 12 clients. This is to allow you to code single life, joint life, first to die, joint life, last to die, both ways, as well as multi-life, combined billing discount, combinations, as well as multi-scope, which also will be covered in another tutorial, where you can simultaneously quote with all the discounts, etc., on as many as 12 lives. But at this point, we will proceed to the data archiving and unarchiving. Of course, LifeGuide has numerous other functions, including various analysis functions and so forth, each of which you can save, a mortgage investment and loan analysis and other financial functions, which similarly you can save and so forth, as well as, of course, the settings. Currently, LifeGuide is set to be enlarged, in other words, for the screen to be enlarged to 1.5 its size, and we'll start from here. What we're going to do is, let's say we want to keep all the data that we've input over time for various clients and various groups, as well as our settings. By the way, backing up, in other words, archiving, is a good practice to follow regardless of whether you want to transfer information from one machine to another or not. This is simply to keep your data in case your computer is stolen or it crashes or something else causes a failure. By archiving the data and storing it, you will be saving that data just in case something happens. So without any further delay, I'll continue into it. The archiving function is invoked by clicking on the diskette icon here, which is the third one from the right. Actually, there is an icon here of another function that's coming up in LifeGuide, which is currently not visible, so this is actually the fourth icon, but counting at the moment is the third one from the right. So we'll click on it. We now have the options to archive, unarchive, delete all the data that we've input into LifeGuide, including all of our analyses and so forth, and of course to cancel what we've done, or to cancel the operation rather. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to archive the user information, the settings, the various analysis functions, results that we've saved, all the client groups and members in these groups that we have input into LifeGuide and so forth. So we'll click on Archive. LifeGuide, of course, gives you a notice here that it will close in order to perform the function. And this is very important. Before continuing, you must close all other LifeGuide modules, which means if you have an analysis module of LifeGuide open, let's say a life insurance needs analysis, or retirement needs analysis, or disability needs analysis, or mortgage investment and loan analysis, or whatever. I don't want to list them all, but if you have any other module of LifeGuide currently open, or even a quote screen of LifeGuide, please make sure you close it before proceeding, because otherwise the archiving will be interrupted due to the window itself being open. The only window of LifeGuide that should be open at this point is, of course, the main screen, which is behind this notice here. So making sure that there are no other LifeGuide modules or processes open, I will now click to proceed. Since I've made some sort of a change here, it will ask me if I want to save the changes that I've made, and I'll say yes. And it has been saved. So now I'm into the naming of the file, of the archive file, to where I want to save all this information. So let's browse, and I'm going to put all this into a file in an archive folder that I've created. So I'll browse, and I'm at drive C. Here's my archive folder. Nothing in it right now. And I'm going to give this a file name. You can give it any name you want. A good thing to do for archive files is to put in the date, so it would be 2015. It's the 5th month, the 8th day, and the time now is approximately 3:24, so it would be 1524. The extension LGA will be added automatically. So you can name the file any way you want. This is the way I like to do it, so I'll just proceed. Okay, now something very important that I should address here, and that is that LifeGuide maintains a very high encryption level for everything that is saved. And you have the ability to put in a password as long as you wish, including spaces and whatnot. So I'm going to make something relatively simple. ABC space DEF space GHI and 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just going to go on my keyboard here from the left, exclamation mark, the @ sign, and the number sign. Cracking programs will have quite a field day trying to figure this one out. But you can make it as complicated as you want, and the passwords can be as long as 256 characters long, including spaces, special characters, and whatnot. But, and this is a very important but, make sure you do not forget the password, because if you forget the password, there is virtually no way to recover it. Even we will not be able to help you on that. It's very highly encrypted for safety and security, but when that happens, you want to make sure that you've written down your password. So since I just made up this password, I better write it down. ABC space DEF space GHI space 1, 2, 3 space exclamation, no space here, exclamation mark, the @ sign, and the number sign. Okay. You can, by the way, hide the passwords as you write them in case there's somebody nearby, or view them as you go. All right. So we'll proceed now, and we'll do the actual archiving. Archiving is in process, and it's done. Quite a volume of information has been archived. At this point, for example, let's say you want to pass the information to your notebook from your desktop. You can do it by copying the archive file onto a USB stick, or you can simply email it to yourself. It's encrypted, so it's safe, and then you can pick up your email to yourself on your laptop and unarchive it there. So at this point, in order not to get the email program going, I'll just say no, I don't want to email it, and LifeGuide will now restart. Okay, and I'm right back to where I was. Now I'll show you the next function. We'll click here. Let's say that you did the archiving because you're going to get rid of that computer. Let's say you just sold your old computer, you're getting your LifeGuide data off of it, and you want to make sure that whoever buys that computer is not going to have any access to it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do something that you have to be very careful with, and that is to delete all your user input information. And that will delete all client information, all saved analysis reports and functions and inputs, and anything that you have input into LifeGuide and saved, it will delete and erase. So we'll click on delete, and of course we don't want you to make any mistakes, so LifeGuide puts up a warning that the user data files that you're about to select will be permanently deleted, and I'm stressing the word permanently deleted. It is highly recommended to first archive the existing user data to a new archive file before proceeding with the deletion. We've just done that, so we're okay. Do you wish to continue with the deletion at this time? Yes. Okay, LifeGuide now tells you that it will close in order to perform the function, and of course any other open LifeGuide windows or LifeGuide module windows that you have should be closed at this point. So we'll just proceed by clicking on yes, and now it asks us what we want to back up, or what we want to delete. Rather, we're doing a deletion here. What we want to delete. So let's say I want to delete everything. So I'll click on select all. Again, I stress that it's very, very important that you archive first before you delete. So I clicked on the button here to select everything to delete. So in other words, the settings, the database, the options, everything having to do with multi-quarter. This, by the way, applies only if you're an insurance company head office. It doesn't apply to the average agent. Company software, interface settings, single and joint life, multi-life, multi-scope, the quotation repository, the montage side-by-side comparison, the multi-calc functions, anything you've saved in there, the retirement income analysis, anything you've saved in there, disability income needs analysis, and anything you've saved in there. Likewise for life insurance needs analysis, loan and mortgage analysis, RIF analysis, information that you've saved. So I'll say, okay, let's go with it. Let's delete the works. It gives me one last warning here. The user data files for the selected modules will be deleted. Are you sure you want to proceed? Let's say yes. And one very, very last warning. And that's it. Now, you'll notice one thing, and that is that the LifeGuide screen at this point appears smaller significantly than it was before. The reason was that the settings were set in the LifeGuide window to appear larger, but we just deleted all the settings. So LifeGuide now reverts back to its base size, which is what you're looking at right now. However, we'll soon be back, or assuming I remember the password properly. Okay, so we'll go on to the next function here. We'll click on the user data file management icon, and we've done the archiving, we've done the deletion. So now let's see if we can get all our data back. So by the way, I'll just cancel this to show you it's Mr. Example. The default, the way the factory setting, quote unquote, is the way you got it. So we're going to go back here, unarchive. Okay. Again, gives you a warning in case you've saved some data. Um, you don't want to overwrite data that you've saved, so better archive what you've saved before you unarchive older files on top of it. So let's say we want to continue here. Yes. And it tells you that LifeGuide will close. Same message as before, and no LifeGuide modules should be open at this point. Do you wish to proceed? Yes. So now it wants the file. So we browse, and here we are in the archives, and we'll open that file, and it wants the password. So let's hope I got it right. ABC space DEF space GHI space 1, 2, 3. And let's click on Unarchive. Uh-oh, that didn't happen. So what is the problem here? Okay, processing was canceled. It goes back. Oh, I made a mistake in the password. That's why. Let's go back here. Unarchive. Yes. Let's proceed. And let's get our file. Open it. And let's try this password again. ABC space DEF space GHI space 1, 2, 3, and then no space, exclamation mark, the @ sign, and the number sign. Those are the ones I forgot. Sorry about that. So let's do it now, and let's hope. Aha, it's working. So we want to get everything back, and I'm going to select here. I want everything that we archived back, and I'll click on OK. And it gives me another warning just in case I saved something onto where I'm going to unarchive, that I should back them up as well. But since I didn't save anything since I've archived, I'll just continue here, and I'll click on yes. And it's instantly completed. And here we are. And as you'll see, LifeGuide now opens up with a larger window because it has reacquired its settings. Everything was retrieved, and we're back where we were when we started. So again, the key points in the archiving: the encryption is very high. It's very important to make sure that you put a password in that you can remember, and check it before you click to proceed. Pick a password that you can remember, but which other people will not be able to remember as easily. For example, your mother-in-law's address would be a good idea. Or you can put spaces in the address, of course, and the postal code and all that. Or anything that you can think of. A proverb that you can think of would be a nice little past sentence, or just a regular single word password. But again, please make sure you remember the passwords are case sensitive. The archiving, it's a good idea to do the archiving because this way you can transfer the information from one machine to another. In other words, your information that you've input about clients and various analyses that you've done. The other thing is that the archiving file is a fairly small one, so it emails very quickly and doesn't take up a heck of a lot of space. Let's open up the file here and see. Let's see now where it is. Let's go to the drive C, and I'm going to go to archives, and let's see what the size of this file is. Okay. It's only 491,000 bytes, or 479 kilobyte. Nearly nothing in terms of today's computers. Very, very small file. Contains a lot of data in this case. Thank you very much for coming and visiting. this channel, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, of course, please feel free to call us at the office, 1-888-316-5433, and speak to one of our staff. Thanks again for watching.